All right, welcome to episode 8 of the Nueva Vida Group podcast. We are a privately owned real estate advisory service that advises the high net worth and ultra high net worth community on real estate acquisition, project management, and development.
So this week we're going to be talking with Victor Lupson, head of developer sales at one of Dubai's most respected brokerages, Equity, and a great business partner of ours. It's great to have you on, mate. So let's get straight into it. So what attracted you personally to move to Dubai, and sort of what are the most noticeable benefits that you've seen and experienced since moving there?
First of all, thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to this. But the reasons that I moved over here, I mean, there's many of them, but mostly opportunity and obviously lifestyle. So I'm sure you already know this, but I come from first half of my career, I was a commodities trader. So studying market trends was sort of in my DNA for many years. And I've been coming to Dubai since I was a child. So my father had business here since I think 2001. I wasn't a stranger to Dubai. I knew the country very well. I loved it already. I've been looking back and forth at real estate here for years. And at that moment in time, back in 2023, I realised that this place was really on the up. So obviously, the opportunity to get out here, get involved in investing, and then eventually advising and selling, which was never really on the horizon, but turned out to be, sort of fell into place. But now I've reaped the rewards of the lifestyle. I've had a baby here, the healthcare, the schooling. It's much more than I could ever have asked for, and it seems to just keep getting better. So yeah, many reasons.
Can I just ask, we might go straight into detail, but was that process relatively easy? You mentioned about schooling and the healthcare and stuff like that. Just give a quick.
It's amazing, to be honest with you.
I mean, kind of works.
Everything here is done so quickly, no matter what it is. Everything's so convenient. The hospitals that we use, especially for the birthing and maternity, was as good as I've ever seen. It's private, obviously. We had insurance, but if you was to compare it to private, the cost of private in the UK, it's probably about half the price, and I would say the service is maybe twice as good. So, give you an example: there's valet park at the hospitals. You have your own suite. You have more than enough nurses and doctors looking after you. We couldn't have asked for anything more, to be honest with you. Everything went so well. And that was something obviously I never really experienced before. We've only experienced sort of like the best of the best. And everyone I speak to out here that's gone through the same sort of process says the same. So I can't fault the healthcare in any way whatsoever. I was overly impressed.
I think it's interesting, isn't it? Like how many people have eased so quickly into that lifestyle in Dubai. So you recently joined, obviously, Equity, mate, and the role sounds so exciting.
Yeah.
What's your role there? And give us a bit more background on the areas that you focus on and your expertise, because I think that's going to be really valuable to our clients.
Yeah, so previous 3 years I've worked for one of the biggest real estate companies in Dubai as an off-plan, or you would call it a new build specialist. Was a really good place to cut my teeth, learn the market inside out, build some fantastic networks. And very recently the opportunity came up to join Equity as head of developer sales in order to sort of grow their team. The difference here, as opposed to many others, is pretty much everyone that we have is very well experienced and well versed in our roles. And for me, the guys that I've brought in as well with me, they're going to help me grow the company. It's not just the CEO, the heads of department. Individually, the brokers are all amazing. We're all looking to grow as a team. We don't necessarily focus on quantity, let's say. It's more about quality. We like to give the best service possible to not necessarily high net worth individuals, but buyers that we've looked after for many years. And for us, it's very important to keep our reputation strong. And like I said, look after our clients as much as possible.
And what sort of properties are you working on? Give us some examples. We're going to go into a bit more detail further in, but is it the whole of Dubai or certain areas or?
So, as a company, we have a very strong commercial department as well. So, we do a lot in ready and off-plan commercial property. But for me, I deal with off-plan property all over the UAE. So whether it be in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah, even places like Al Quwain, which we don't sell too much in, but we have a very broad insight to the whole market. Mostly, sorry.
So I was just going to say, is there now? I know I've spent a lot of time in Abu Dhabi as well as I have in Dubai. Are people now sort of looking at both options when thinking about moving to the UAE?
For sure. So for the last 2 years, I've really been a huge promoter of Abu Dhabi. I think it's an amazing place. I actually think it could be the future. And we are seeing so much traction there, especially now. I would say the villa market in Abu Dhabi is as strong, if not stronger, than here in Dubai. I'm sure you've already heard, there will come a point where, the market has lots of supply. But I think 1.5% of the whole of the market is villas. So, if it's for investment and it's within sort of, budget, I would always suggest to investors have a look into the villa market. And at the moment, Abu Dhabi has some incredible options. We're selling a lot of them as well. A lot of them are on very good payment plans as opposed to Dubai. So it's a really, really good option to look at the moment.
And what typically are the payment plans that you're working with on your projects?
Yeah, so it varies from developer to developer. The more aggressive payment plans would be from the likes of Emaar, for example, because they have the reputation, they have the brand, so they can pretty much afford to do what they want. Those payment plans would usually be 80% during construction and 20% on handover. But then some of the larger government developers, especially in Abu Dhabi, they're on like a 40-60 payment plan where you pay 40% during construction and then 60% on handover. But the government-backed developers, you can actually mortgage during construction after paying 50% as well now. So that's something quite new to the market.
So, I mean, that's a real show of sort of, we really believe in what we're doing as well, isn't it? So it gives a lot of market confidence.
Yeah, I think the banks are obviously confident in the backing of these larger government-backed developers. So they're happy to finance a house or an apartment which isn't even built yet, which gives huge confidence to obviously the consumer.
Obviously, relocating to the UAE is a hot topic at the moment, and it has been for quite some time. And I don't think it's just isolated to the UK. I mean, everywhere I go, people are sort of asking me what my thoughts are and, is it a good fit for me? I think what would be really good, if you wouldn't mind, is to just go into a bit more detail on that process. Sure. So, I mean, for us, for example, typically our clients are high net worth or ultra high net worth families predominantly, and they'll be relocating from the UK or from sort of other parts of the world. Typically, I think they would be looking to purchase a property, but not always straight away. So it'd be good to sort of understand more detail, what the sort of process is, and the time frame, because I think that's the thing that impresses me the most, how quick that process can be done. Because everywhere else in Europe, if we're honest, we've done a lot of relocation. For example, in Spain, the Beckham law really needs to be allowing 12 months.
Yeah, sure.
Dubai is a whole different ballgame, isn't it?
No, absolutely. I mean, the transition is very easy, especially if you're adding value to the country. So there's a couple of different types of visas that you can obtain. You'll have an employment visa, an investor visa, and now you have the golden visa. For me, I came into the country on an employment visa, very, very simple. My company set it up for me. Didn't have to do too much. That took about 7 days maximum to set up for me. But importantly for us at the moment, the golden visa in Dubai, if you're investing 2 million dirhams on a property, that could be off plan or it could be a ready property. You'll receive a golden visa for you and your dependents, your family. So that's about £400,000, I think it is. But you obviously that can also be on a payment plan, and that can also take, once you've got your title deed in place, that can also take up to 7 to 14 days. So the time frame is very, very quick. Everything's done digitally here. We do have a bit of a migration problem here at the moment, but of millionaires, which is slightly different to what you've got back home. Not necessarily a problem, but yeah, I mean, I think at the moment we've got 200,000 people a year coming to live. So by 2040, they're looking at doubling the population. So at the moment it's around 4 million. By 2040, they want it to be around 8 million. And
I
at the
think that
moment, sorry.
I was just going to say, just that population point is a really good one because a lot of people feel like it's a I don't know, comparative to the UK. We're at nearly 70 million. There's a lot of room to grow there, isn't there, on those numbers?
There certainly is. I mean, it's a much smaller place.
Mm.
But like if you look at the handover of property at the moment, maximum they're handing over 30,000 units a year, whether they'd be apartments or villas or townhouses. Yet we have 200,000 people moving here. So let's say on average, each household has 3 people on average, which I think's being very generous. It's still undersupplied, so we've still got a long way to catch up with that.
That's really interesting. I just think the speed is key. I think for a lot of people, I mean, when we have an experience of clients who've been advised to actually consider, relocating to the UAE for 12 months, they might own assets in Europe and then make the transition into Europe. And I think obviously it comes down to a case by case basis, but it's clear, Dubai, UAE in general is a good solution for a lot of people. And I think that fact that it's digital, I think that makes a huge difference. We've gone through it ourselves, having lived in
Yeah,
Spain, the bureaucracy side of stuff, it can take over. What I would say is actually once you have it in place,
yeah,
it's actually quite easy and able to do it. And you've got to have the right people around you, haven't you? So I presume you've got relocation and that
yeah.
sort of thing.
That's what I was going to mention. Obviously, you guys may have the same as us, but we have people in house, and if it gets sort of out of our realm, we've got partners that take care of it. So we try to do everything in house here, sort of everything under one umbrella, but we also have partners that help us if needed. So that's something we can take care of very easily.
Yeah, we're the same. We have in-house, I'd say council based in Spain, Portugal,
Yeah.
all the sort of key areas that we work in,
Mhm.
um, and they're brilliant. But they're also brilliant at working with our clients' own team because a lot of our clients will have their own lawyers, accountants, advisors, their
Yep.
banks. So yeah, and they're all pretty good, aren't they? I've noticed they're good at working together
Yeah,
to help their clients, especially in
yeah.
that private client space. It's very efficient.
Absolutely, and to be honest, I like to stay pretty hands-on with that as well.
Mm.
Just because where I've been through the process so many times with so many different people, there's sometimes things that I notice that maybe that our advisors don't, and we've got the answer to it much quicker if we all work together.
Yeah, I think it helps as well if you've gone through the process. I
Yeah,
see it a lot. We've personally gone through the process ourselves in various forms. In Spain, you've done it in Dubai. I think it's really interesting to hear people going through the various. If you've actually got real life experience to help clients, it makes a massive difference. So this
absolutely.
is a good one for me. I mean, I obviously have a new build off plan background,
Yep.
and I just love the products and some of the things that are being built in Dubai are fascinating. They're amazing, aren't they? I'd love to know your sort of top 5 luxury projects, the things that sort of you think are, these are A1, A1 location, A1 product,
Yeah,
quality of build. Some people do ask us what's the quality of build like.
yeah, yeah.
It'd be good to just get your sort of thoughts and your sort of top 5
Sure.
projects.
Yeah, I mean it's a tricky market because I can't imagine there's many real estate markets or destinations in the world with this amount of developers building at once. So I think it's always good to definitely seek advice when coming here because it doesn't all it doesn't all perform in the same ways. So for me, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the government-backed developers, obviously for safety reasons. But the luxury segment this year, we've seen a huge uptick in. So waterfront communities is a big seller of ours at the moment. Developers such as H&H, Omniat, Modon in Abu Dhabi. I'm pretty sure you've heard of those guys
Yeah,
already.
yeah, of course.
Aldar the same. I mean, they're building some incredible stuff over in Saadiyat Island and Hudriyat Island. You've got Mandarin Oriental branded. You've got Rosewood. The Carlisle's come over from New York, which is, I think, it's the first Carlisle residence, outside of New York on the planet, and they could have chosen anywhere to go. But for me, yeah, the waterfront community is down in Jumeirah Peninsula. Obviously, Palm Jumeirah is also still very, very strong, very well known as well. And then you have your big master communities in Abu Dhabi. I'd always suggest taking a look at by Modon or Al Dar. So yeah, they're the ones that I'm sort of focusing on, not intentionally, but it seems like there's a lot of people wanting those sort of things at the moment.
I've always found with new developments, you get drawn to the ones where you feel the quality is there and it's a good fit for your client base, don't you? I'm often sort of quite not single-minded, but I will, if there's 10 projects, I'll know instantly, actually, 3 of those don't work.
Yeah.
One I'm not sure about, so let's focus on the top 4 or 5 that are the right fit. I've had a good look at a couple of the schemes recently. I like the look of the Six Senses scheme. I like the look of the Amman project, all those brands. The fact that they're there and building what they're building just shows there's still such a lot of opportunity to create incredible products in there.
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of branded residencies being thrown around here. So for me, the only real brands that add much value are the hospitality brands, because obviously they're experts in that field. I'm
so glad you said that. We had a podcast on branded residences, and I got so much stick.
Yeah. Did you?
But I really firmly believe, and I have done for years, and I've worked on some of the best in London.
Yeah.
I have done for years. I firmly believe it has to be a hospitality brand. I don't believe in watch brands, car brands. I think they're amazing brands, and they really know their customer. But there's a very big difference to doing that and managing a building.
For sure. Absolutely.
It's a whole different ball game, and I think you can't get away from the fact that hospitality know it better.
Yeah, without that, they're adding value. I mean, we have a lot of brands out here. Trust me, every 5 minutes there's a new brand being released. But for me, I would only, ever suggest or focus on the hospitality brands. And like you said, Six Senses, Rosewood, Amman, Mandarin Oriental. I mean, they're as good as it gets.
Yeah, they're the best. We actually ranked them. We'll put a link to that podcast on this one.
It seems I've seen it, but I haven't. I genuinely haven't.
It's worth a listen.
We'll put a link. I'll send it over to you because it's a good one. But I definitely, a couple of people messaged me saying, "Are you sure about that?" But I know I've held that opinion for a long time.
Yeah.
I've worked with the brands, the big hospitality brands in London,
Mm-hmm.
and I've sold a lot in these projects, and I've held that line ever since, and that's a long time, and I still firmly believe it's not changed. I have been and seen a lot of these projects. That's important to say, is that I'm not just looking at it from someone that hasn't actually been and touched and felt and looked at the schemes. I actually have been and seen and compared, and I'm open to the idea of someone doing it really well. I think some of the boutique developers in Europe, I think they may get it right, but that isn't a mass product. So places like Comporta, there's some good boutique projects being done there by hospitality brands or sort of other brands. But in terms of the sort of like fashion or car brands, I still haven't seen something where I go, "Oh, they've cracked it."
I agree.
One day they will. I'm pleased. Any of these brands out there, if they're watching and listening, invite us to come and have a look. We'd love to, but I just haven't quite seen anything yet that's really cracked it.
Well, there'll be plenty here to see in about 3 years' time, so you can come over and check them all out.
Well, that leads me on to my next question. I mean, I think a lot of people, they love the idea of relocating to Dubai and UAE, but kind of want to know what the situation is going to be like in the future there. So is there any, exciting growth plans or anything that that's, people can look forward to, adding a bit more security about everything?
I mean, obviously the population growth is a big telltale sign, and they've got certain different visions here, whether it's across Dubai or Abu Dhabi. They want thriving businesses to move here, whether it would be in the tech world, the AI world, hedge funds, banks, you name it. They're trying to attract the big players in the markets, because at the end of the day, I'm not sure how true it is, but I don't think the oil money will last forever. So that they're trying to create an economy here that's sustainable, or like other major cities in the world. So yeah, in the last 3 years, I mean, obviously I've been coming here for many years, but in the last 3 years, I've seen a huge change in people relocating here with their families also, to live for the rest of their lives, maybe even retire one day. So yeah, the future's certainly bright here. I can't see anywhere else in the world that's sort of getting this much attention at the moment. But for end users, not just investors, and that's why we've seen a huge uptick in the luxury segment, in the villa segment, because, like I said, people are moving here with their families.
That's a good point, isn't it? It's important, the education as well, isn't
Brilliant.
it? Because I know when we, advise clients on relocation, which we do daily almost, it's that I would say our clients' top priorities aren't necessarily what people think they are. They are actually, what's the education like? What's the childcare like? What how the kids sort of definitely come first, and education's flying, isn't it, in Dubai?
Yeah, so we have Repton School is already here. We have Harrow opening soon. I believe Eton's opening. King's Wimbledon. So there's some top, public schools there coming over, and there won't just be one of them. There'll be many of them dotted around each city. And I mean, a friend of mine's little girl goes to Repton, and I went there with him one day, and it blew me away. And I've seen Repton in the UK. I've seen many of the public schools in the UK. This was up there, and that was really the first of many. So yeah, it's going to be perfect for families moving there. And like I said, healthcare, safety, you can't necessarily put a price on that.
I think safety is a big point at the moment. Obviously, there is a lot of, I suppose, conversations happening, especially in the UK, about that, and it's literally nothing, is it? It's almost zero, which I think people know, but I think it's also it's reassuring. Maybe just go on to that topic, because
it's
for high net worths,
it's a
big
little bit
problem
crazy, to be honest with you. I mean, people reserve a table in a coffee shop with their phone and their wallet. So you can literally go up, leave your phone, wallet, walk up to the counter, order a coffee, come back. You could leave it there all day, and it's going to stay in the same place. Obviously, you don't hear anything of crime here, but it's true. It's genuine. I mean, it's such a safe place. I don't think there's anywhere safer. I think Abu Dhabi number one, Dubai number two on the planet. So yeah, you've got no issues with that.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's incredible. It's how it should be.
Brilliant.
The one thing we haven't spoken about is golf. I mean, we're obviously, James and I are big golfers, and there's a lot being built around golf courses, isn't there? In Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, I mean, we speak to clients that have got homes on the courses as well, and I think it's a great community. There's a lot to be said about that, isn't there?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was actually meant to be playing golf today with clients, and I put it off for you guys. So
you shouldn't have done that.
Thank you.
That was at Jumeirah Golf Estates as well.
Played.
And obviously, it's been on the TV recently for the DP World. But no, yeah, that's a very, very popular place, especially for European guys to live. Two golf courses there. You've got the Fire and the Earth. The Earth is obviously the championship course, but there's actually a new community coming next to it. It's part of the same master development, but this is Jumeirah Golf Estates Phase 2. They've already launched 2 phases there, and the third one will be in January. Again, just villas only, directly on the golf course. So they'll be building a new golf course there. We don't know what it's called, but it's also a championship golf course. It might even be better than what's currently there. Prices at the moment are phenomenal. I mean, it's selling out. There aren't too many of them. I think the next phase could be 200 villas, but they'll sell out within 2 or 3 hours. So we got a lot of traction in the previous phase.
Wow.
We've also got great connections with the developer, which is a government-backed developer called Wassel. We'll sort of have a VIP access for those guys. So I think we have I think it's six or 7 checks waiting to go on 4, 5, and 6 bed villas. So
and what are the values typically?
Yeah, so they'll be starting around 12 million dirhams, which is, I think, just over 2.2 million pounds. Is that? Am I right? and then they'll go up to the 6 beds directly on the golf course on larger plots will be around 36 million dirhams. So obviously it varies, but there'll be trophy assets, those big ones, and to be honest, there won't be many of them. So if you've got direct, golf course views, a large 6 bed, and the comparable to that in the current ready phase would be almost double the price. So we're looking at around 2,000 dirhams a square foot for this phase. And I sold a villa in August directly on the golf course on the 17th green. That was 4,500 dirhams a square foot. So there's a lot.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So that off-plan pricing, that's sort of is comparative with values that surround golf courses in Europe.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
In today's market, it's actually hard to find off-plan. I mean, you need to obviously do the due diligence, but a lot of the off-plan stuff here now is the same price as a ready property, which sort of defeats the object unless it's in a specific location where there's nothing else comparable. But these particular ones are coming in at around half price. You do have to wait 3 or 4 years, but in 3 or 4 years, they'll perform very, very well.
Yeah, but that's the premium. That's the reason for investing and getting in early. This has been brilliant, mate. It's been so insightful. We should do it,
Enjoyed it.
regularly, because it's clearly a destination that's important.
Yeah.
I think if any of the audience want to find out any more information about what we've been speaking about, feel free to reach out. We can help out by contact us by email or visiting our website. But no, it's been brilliant to have you on. Really appreciate your time and your insights.
No, I've loved it. Let's do it again, because honestly, this market changes every day. So there's lots to talk about. We could talk about this for months, literally. So we'll do this again. Appreciate it.
Thanks again, mate.
All right. Thanks, mate.